Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the main viewer. This is it. This is the time you've been waiting for. Boy, it is going to be amazing. We're going to talk all about the first ever Star Trek award show. That's an award show just for Star Trek. We're going to talk, that's called the LLAPy Awards, by the way. Also, we're going to talk about the Renaissance Awards. We're going to talk about the 5-day virtual convention that starts in like 45 hours or something like that, but who's counting? Before we get into any of that, though, of course, you know Dr. Muhammad Noor. He's right here.
Hello. Always a pleasure to be on the main viewer and can't wait for Virtual TrekCon 3. Woo!
Well, you're going to have to, sadly. I know. He's an occasional science advisor for Star Trek, by the way, and the Dean of Natural Sciences at Duke University. Also, now I was going to say something about Duke University, but there's no connection there. However, Melissa Longo is a very cool person. She's an actor that just got home from set, by the way. What's that all about? Hey, Melissa Longo.
Hi there. I did. Yeah, I'm a little slap happy because I've been up for a while.
What does slap happy mean? That sounds probably worse than what it really is.
A little loopy. It's just a tad loopy.
Enjoying life.
But well fed.
Not feeling loopy at all, ever. We have resident web crawler, associate producer of The Seventh Rule, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel.
Hi. And hi, Mom and Dad in the live chat.
Okay, maybe I was wrong. You're a little loopy.
No, just excited.
My name's Ryan T. Husk, and I'm always at about a 9 on the loop scale. Right, that's my equilibrium. That's where I hang out. Yeah. All right. Boy, so we have so much to talk about. First of all, hey, check out my cool 10 Forward hoodie that looks really cool and neat and is super comfortable. Look at that. Whoa, like Picard. Look at that. Whoa, our good buddies at Paramount Plus. So we love these guys.
For those of us who don't live in California, and for the people who maybe missed the last Seventh Rule, can you explain what the 10 Forward thing is?
Yes. You see, 10 Forward is on the Enterprise D. There was a lady named Guinan, and she listened. She tended bar and she listened. But also what Muhammad is referring to is downtown LA, good people at Paramount Plus have 10 Forward, a cool bar lounge type thing for about 2 weeks. It's open for a couple weeks. And Sirach and I went to the VIP preview of it, which was a lot of fun. It was really cool. And, you know, never looking for an excuse to go downtown. But this was a great excuse. This definitely was one of the very few things that will get me to go to downtown LA. And it was well worth it. It was a great time. And we got some cool stuff out of the deal. Like this this makes me sad that spring is about to spring, because I'm not going to be able to wear this for like 10 months in LA, but it's so awesome and it's so comfortable. And I don't care how hot I feel right now. I want to wear it because it's awesome and very comfortable. Thank you, Muhammad.
What did it look like inside? Like, did it have areas like the one from Picard and areas like the one from the Enterprise D?
The actual set from Picard? That's what the buzz has been saying.
It's at the very least very similar and, you know, inspired by it. I don't know. I can't confirm if it looks exactly like it because I was too busy going like, what's that? Oh, whoa, look at what, you know. I was being very unfocused and my loop was at about a 9.8 at that point, but it looked really cool. And the people there were great. There are a lot of good people that I ran into. They were okay though. I didn't hit them that hard.
Hilarious.
And it was a great time, and they really, obviously, like with everything else, put a lot of effort into the details and into making the fans happy. And we don't mind fan service, do we?
Not at all. We love
Thanks.
it. Fans don't mind fan
Yeah.
service. I thought it was great. And Sirach loved it as well.
Dude, the merch is like glowing though. Every time somebody posts a picture, it's just like, 10 forward. I love it.
It matches the background.
Yes. Did you plan that?
Our background.
The background behind you.
I was
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what that note was that you hit, Amory. Is that a D? I don't know.
I don't
You seem
know.
like somebody that knows that's no. Okay, it sounded like a D. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like ruin.
Oh my
the
God. What if I hit
conversation.
the D like Enterprise D? Perfect.
Good knowledge.
Not touching. Yeah. Anyway, Melissa, before we get into by the way, everybody, not only are we going to talk all about this, and we're going to give you the schedule, or a very good sneak peek. And oh my God, there's too much stuff. And you guys, we have our very own Scott Baker, who is live on Hollywood Boulevard talking to the people that are currently freaking out about the LLAPy Awards. We're also going to talk about, did you guys hear about the new Kirk information?
Mhm.
Captain Kirk?
Mhm.
We're going to talk about that. And Melissa Longo, you just got home from a set, right?
I did. Yes.
Cool.
It was fun. It was it was for a show that's gonna air on the Disney Channel or Disney Plus or something like that. Yeah.
Is
So
it
was great
animated?
fun. It is not animated. No. You get to see me being an electrician.
Oh,
Oh.
I know.
shocking.
Remember
The
that?
only female electrician in the bunch.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
What luck.
I
Remember
know.
that song Electric Youth by Debbie Gibson? I bet
Mhm.
Muhammad does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anne Marie's like, that was before my time.
Now I'm like, oh, note to self, check it out.
It's
Electric slide too.
Electric
Electric
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what, you guys? Okay. Before we get, we're making poor Scott wait too long. Let's just do everybody in the live chat. If you want
Oh
to
my God.
see our very own Scott Baker on Hollywood Boulevard talking to everybody that are going nuts about the new LLAPy Awards, the award show for Star Trek, just put a 1 in the live chat. Just type the number 1. If you don't want to ever see his face ever again, put a 2. No, because they might do that. Just put a 1 in the live chat.
Oh man, there's a lot of ones from Dr. Anne Marie there.
All right, well, let's give it a shot. Let's see if Scott can hear us. Let's see what happens. Scott Baker, can you hear us? Hello, Scott. Let's see if we can hear
This is the
him.
coolest thing ever.
Thanks, Ryan. As you can see, I'm here on fabulous Hollywood Boulevard, where the stars are out. They're putting up the risers and rolling out the red carpet for the first annual LLAPy Awards as part of virtual TrekCon 3. The tension is palpable, as everyone is wondering who will get Best Friendship in a Legacy Show, which series had the best pilot episode, and which documentary will take home the coveted prize for Best Picture.
my
Excuse
God.
me, ladies, are you excited for the big awards show? Yeah, you can tell. Well, you heard it here. See you on the big night.
Wow, very good. Thank you, Scott.
They didn't say sure.
Good luck out there. Be careful. It looks like it's a real, you might get trampled from the excitement. That is really looks like a dangerous situation. Get out of there as soon as you can, because when they find out you're a part of Virtual TrekCon, you're not safe. You're going to get
God.
crushed.
Yeah. You
Um,
need security.
Please say you're
Security.
posting that clip separately to share all over. That's amazing.
So Mohammed, you could hear that video, right?
Oh yeah, very well.
We were running.
Oh
we
my
should have tested that
gosh.
out. We were running into some technical difficulties the other night, and so I'm glad that worked out well. Thank you, Scott, for reporting
Oh my
live.
gosh, my abs
Thanks,
hurt
Scott.
from laughing.
From
That's my
laughing.
new favorite thing.
JR Poole in the live chat says 100% sure on the street.
Oh my
Lots of
god.
love it, ROTFL, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He is a brave man. That's a
Is a brave man.
Sure.
anyway.
What he does for his art.
Oh my gosh.
Can't beat that.
No.
JR Poole also says perfect rhythmic speak. Glenn Iverson says, I loved that 1940s newsreel announcer voice Scott used. That's
That's
just him.
so perfect.
And Chuck A says Hollywood is cool. Anyway,
Oh my
great
gosh.
job, Scott.
Who is Scott
Baker.
winning?
Yeah. And Scott is also the guy that built this thing that's behind 3 out of 4 virtual Trek commers are wearing Scott right now. And the other one is out in
3,
space
3.
somewhere.
Yeah.
333.
All right. Let's, I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's hard to follow.
Let's talk about the LLAPy Awards, and then we'll talk about Kirk, and then we'll talk about Virtual TrekCon 3 schedule all over the place. So everybody at home, the question is, have you ever seen an awards show for Star Trek before? I think we know the answer. But if we ask this question again a week from now, the answer will be different. It will be yes. We went through a painstaking effort to get the fairest polling of all the fans. Mohammed, would you like to jump in on this?
I was going to ask, would it be helpful to actually just read off what all the categories were that people voted on, just to remind people so they're thinking about them? I'm happy to do that. Sound good?
I think so. I
Okay.
think the fans would like that. Let's go over the process too, though, very quickly, because
yeah, that's a good idea to remind people, because that was now like a couple months ago. So it's fair enough.
Right. So we had these votes, these polls, in order to get the nominees. We didn't just like pick nominees and then you voted on the winners. You voted on the nominations. So some categories had like 50 or 60
65
or even 65 possible answers. And you, the fans, narrowed it down to 6 or 8 in each category. I think one category ended up with 9 because of multiple ties. And then we did another round, the playoffs, if you will. I'll never forget the time Anne-Marie said, "Oh my God, is this what sports is like?"
I love that line. That was awesome, Anne-Marie.
But yeah, so this was like the playoffs when it was narrowed down to 6 or 8. And then you voted again to get the winners. And those winners will be announced on Sunday, March 20th, the first day of spring, from starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time, midnight UK time. Actually, midnight's not so bad.
Aren't they?
Yes,
They an hour
they are.
closer?
That's the correct. They're only 7 hours ahead of Pacific and 4 hours ahead of Eastern time for
Doesn't
the next
change
week
with
and a
daylight.
half. Yep,
It
they're
doesn't like
daylight
a
to the
week later. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got
Just
it.
to give us extra
So-
mental gymnastics.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of Europe though, but I think Europe then would be 1 a.m. is when it starts for them. Anyway, so I hope that's all very clear.
And it's great.
Mohammed,
It's great, as Ryan was saying, that the fans did this. We seeded it a tiny bit for the initial one, but like fans could even just write in stuff for that first round, and then after that, it was on a Google form, so anybody who had access to the internet, which of course is going to be anybody's watching the show, had access to go in there and vote. So that was great.
right?
And we had
Look
it
at this. This matches, by the way.
Hey,
That's what we were saying.
an hour ago.
That's what we were
Sorry.
saying.
Okay.
We're
Time to
Sorry,
catch
Mom.
up, Ryan.
we're the Joan Rivers of the LLAPy Awards.
So
What?
in the awards, we had 4 broad categories, right? So the broad categories were legacy, meaning pre-2017 Trek, new Trek, which is specifically referring to 2020 and 2021. And that's an important distinction there. Then we had universe, which is any Trek that has aired through the end of 2021. and then finally Renaissance era. And that was basically just to pick up that little gap there of the 2017 to 2019, those ones that they didn't get their own award show. So this was a little opportunity to bring them into the fold and give them a little bit of love, because we love them. We love all Trek.
Hang on, we got to pause you here. Glenn Iverson says Ryan's a bit slow today. Glenn, I'll have you know I feel fine. This is me.
Wow,
Okay?
you picked
What
up that
you see is
comment
what
so
you get.
On
fast.
the loopy scale of 9, so he's not at a 9.8.
Glenn's like, I commented that like 10 minutes ago, dummy. But yeah, this is series and movies. Important to mention, and these are the 4 different divisions. Now, just to add to that, Mohammed, the Renaissance Awards that are just in that little, we call it Renaissance because that's what created this new Star Trek Renaissance, was 2017 to 2019. And they weren't old enough to be in the pre-2017 legacy. They're not new enough to be considered the brand new stuff, since going forward, the new stuff will be just the year that just ended. Just kind of like when you're watching the Emmys or the Oscars, you're just talking about the last year. This time we're doing the last 2 years because of COVID and because of all that silliness that happened. So some people, I think Glenn Iverson included, speaking of which, we're like, well, what about 2017 to 2019? And we're like, yeah, well, they're part of this other thing. And they're like, well, that's not fair. And we're like, yeah, damn, he's right. So we've added that. And the Renaissance Awards will take place at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be their own separate little thing to cover that before we move on to the full scale LLAPys. Anyway.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm not going to read all of the.
I can't even wait.
Yeah, I'm not going to read all of the answer choices. I'm just going to read the questions just so people can be thinking about them. But we'll come back to where you can actually revisit the answer choices later in just a second. Within Legacy Star Trek, the questions were, drum roll, please. Can you give us the drum roll, Anne-Marie? There you go.
Ooh, well, Lisa nailed it.
First was best pilot or first episode in a Legacy Star Trek series. I'm doing my Bonnie Gordon voice.
That's your best Bonnie Gordon voice?
That's not very good. She's much better than me by far.
At doing her own voice.
Next one is funniest moment in Star Trek The Next Generation. Are you keeping up with me there? There you go.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, next one, favorite Legacy Star Trek fling.
You know what would be fun, you guys? Let's let the everybody in the live chat guess who you think is going to win this. Practice your guessing, because later on we will actually reveal something that Mohammed made, which is
legit award show masterpiece.
Yes, just like the Emmy Awards and the Oscars, you're going to get your opportunity to make your guesses, or Anne-Marie, just like
predicaments,
right? Just like
nice.
Just like the March Madness basketball brackets.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can make your predictions.
You're responsible for your own like brackets and betting.
Yeah.
They're going to be like 25 or 28 of these things. 25, I think. How many of these do you guys think you can get right? Everybody at home, do you think you get 10 guesses right, or 15 or 20? Nobody can get all 25. There are going to be some surprises. There must be, unless you're really good. So anyway, we'll let you know where to find that in just a second. Let's continue on.
Sure.
So you can print those out and fill out your answers before the LLAPy Awards and see how many you got. But we'll talk more about that in a moment. Sorry, please continue.
No, it's okay. So the last one was favorite Star Trek fling that I mentioned. Next one after that is favorite Star Trek family. Woohoo!
Yay.
That's gonna be a fun one. That's it for Legacy. We just had the 4 for Legacy.
Wait. Best pilot, first episode, funniest moment in Star Trek.
Oh, I missed the friendship. I apologize. I missed one. Favorite Star Trek, favorite Legacy Star Trek friendship.
Y'all got too excited about the fling.
I got too excited.
Yeah, he did. In the meetings, he was like, "We better include fling."
Yeah.
Waka.
Yeah, that was Mohammed, not me.
Favorite Legacy fling, and the 5th one was favorite Legacy Star Trek family.
Honorable
So
mention the seagulls.
All those, as you know, are
Aw.
anything movies and series pre-2017.
I like
Yep.
Chuck A's answer. The Seventh Rule
Oh,
family.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's
Well,
sweet.
This
that
guy,
one would win.
this guy just brought an apple to the teacher, didn't he?
He
Yeah.
did.
Yes, he sure did.
All right. Next category grouping is new Star Trek 2020 to 2021. Note that, so this is like the last 2 seasons, or I guess not the full last. It's season 3 and part of season 4 of Discovery. It's all of Lower Decks. It's all of Picard, and it's just 5 episodes, I believe, of Prodigy.
Right.
And Children of
First
Mars.
5. Just the first
and
5
Children of
episodes of
Mars, yeah.
Prodigy. Yep. And the final Short Treks episode, which was Children of Mars. And
Yeah.
you can see all that right here.
Brandon Shamatala's favorite. Children of
Yeah.
He really championed that answer.
Awesome. So the first one there was best new character in Star Trek Discovery, specifically 2020 to 2021. So like Saru is not part of that, just as an example.
Mhm. These are
Next
only the characters that were introduced. Yeah. And that
Seasons 3 and 4, exactly. So it does have people like Kovich, but it also has like Book, things like that.
Much to my dismay, Grudge.
Grudge, poor Grudge.
Aw.
Don't like those main coups. Next one is most impressive show of production talent in Star Trek Discovery.
Such a fun one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's nice getting
so
outside
hard.
just the actors and stuff,
It
and
was so
broadening it up to
hard.
yeah. Next
So
one after that,
hard.
most nostalgic moment in Star Trek Picard season 1. I was saying season 1 so you don't, because I know we have some new episodes now. Like, no,
Right.
don't count.
By the way, very quickly, let's give a shout out to our good friends over at Orville Nation.
Oh yeah.
If you love the Orville, go to Orville Nation
And you love
on
nations.
Twitter. And you love, who doesn't love nations? What's up to Orville Nation, our good buddy PJ over there, and everybody there. That's how we met meteorologist Katie, in fact.
Yay.
Oh,
Good fun there.
Nice.
Shout out to them.
cool. Next one. This is like an impossible one. Funniest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. Like,
I
okay.
know. It's so hard.
It's like,
They're
which
all
beach
so
has the most
funny.
sand?
I have to count every grain.
Yeah. Next was
Oh,
most wholesome or best moment in Star Trek Prodigy episodes 1 through 5.
Oh,
The
these
one,
are all
the
so
one with
good.
Scott, with Spock and Scotty, that one does not count.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
because there are only 5 episodes that happened in 2021, and then
Mhm.
after that, the next 5 that were released were in 2022, and this is just specifically 2020 and 2021. Although I have a feeling that some of those episodes that happened in January may
We'll
come
be
up
seeing
in
those next
year's.
year.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Those are
Mhm.
definitely going to get a lot of
Definitely.
mention.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
they're
Oh yeah.
so good.
Definitely.
Oh. We
Definitely.
might have to talk about this later, but the cosplay that just happened on Twitter today for like Gothic Janeway was
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the most amazing things I've ever seen. Aaron Walkie shared it. What? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Moving
Saw
on.
that.
We'll put a
We
pin in
do
that.
love our good
It
buddy
was-
Aaron Waltke.
Pretty
Definitely, we love it.
They
fantastic.
even like did the shading like of the animation for like right under the eyes, the nose, and the ears. I'm just like, it was nuts. Okay, sorry.
No,
It's
it's
on
all
Aaron.
good.
It's on Aaron Walkie's Twitter.
Yeah, that was a good break point, because those ones I just did were all series specific, and now we're talking about ones that are pan series or across series.
Yeah.
So this includes
Hmm.
things like best antagonist in new Star Trek 2020 to
Oh,
2021.
That's a tough
Dun,
one.
dun,
I just
dun.
forgot.
And it's nice because it has ones
Oh,
from
no, wait,
Prodigy
this is-
and Picard and Discovery and
It's
Lower
not
Decks.
in that
I
one.
know that's the other.
Yeah.
That's the other one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ew.
It doesn't have
Oh my
Children of
God.
Mars though. Oh well.
Okay.
It doesn't have who?
The Children of Mars, which I guess would be
Oh,
I guess it would be
right.
the androids then, if it was that from that one episode, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, Sutra.
Yeah. Next one would be
Oh no,
biggest.
that's a different one.
Sutra.
Yeah,
Just like
no,
I
that was
did.
later. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
getting
Next one is biggest
overstimulated.
wow moment in new Star Trek. The point where you're like, oh,
Give me my inhaler.
yep, yeah, that's true. I'm like, that's a lot for my asthma. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the moment that made you gasp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or grab the inhaler.
Yeah. Here's a couple.
And the big one is next. Best new Star Trek episode for 2020.
That is pretty
2021.
Hard.
cutthroat.
That is definitely cutthroat.
Let's
there.
read off those. So
Sure.
you've got That Hope Is You, Part 1, which was Discovery Season 3, Episode 1. First Contact, which was Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 10. Wedge Dudge, which is Lower
so good
Decks,
too.
Season 2, Episode 9.
Mhm.
Nepenthe, Picard, Season 1, Episode 7. Stardust, City Rag, Picard,
Love that
Season
one.
1, Episode 5.
Mhm.
And ... But to Connect, Discovery, Season 4, Episode 7, which was actually the very last episode of Discovery in 2021. I believe it was just that 7th episode was the final one that was eligible. Anyway, that's a toughie.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be a big one. So we'll see. Find out soon. And then just 2 more for new Star Trek. Next one is funniest moment in new Star Trek. And heads up, they're not all from Lower Decks.
I know. Surprisingly, kind of.
Shocking.
Yeah. Even though Lower Decks had a lot, it's still they're representatives from Discovery and Picard, and I don't think there was a Prodigy one for that. No.
2 from Picard and 3 from Picard.
Yeah.
And 1 from Discovery. So that was pretty impressive.
There's just nothing like when Star Trek does humor. I think it's so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
4 from Lower Decks.
Yeah.
All right, Medallion with the good knowledge. He says Wedge, wrong franchise. That is a
Rebel
that
Alliance.
is- yeah, that's old school Star Wars talk right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good knowledge. Good knowledge.
Do I add some?
Oh.
Okay.
I liked that.
That's a
Oh.
good job. And then finally, most exciting moment in new Star Trek. That one's very broad there too.
Hey,
We have
you know who likes Wedge the most? Porthos.
Oh my gosh, I was like French people. Good one.
It took a while. It's a cheese joke,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
It's a cheese joke.
I was wondering if it was going to be
People
some
are-
Pi Day joke or something.
Porthos.
People are like, you interrupted this interesting talk for that week at
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
No,
if it's a
I love
Porthos cheese
Porthos.
reference, yeah,
Porthos rocks.
And his love for cheese.
Porthos can interrupt any day.
Yeah, even though it hurts his tummy when he has the cheese, though.
Where
That's
were you,
it for-
Mohammed?
No,
Most
so that's
exciting
it for new Star Trek. So now we're going to move on to the new section of Star Trek Universe.
moment. That is all TV, all movies,
Mhm.
all series, all everything, including one thing that's not even
Yeah.
official canon Star Trek,
Yeah.
but this is just all Star Trek that we know and love is eligible in this.
Absolutely. And it includes
Yeah.
ones from other galaxies. No, I'm just kidding.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, no. Next one, or first one is most shocking betrayal in Star Trek.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. Those were some great ones.
This
there
was
to
a
choose from.
controversial category.
Yeah,
Yes, it was. We had some interesting discussions.
Can we
in one of
talk
our main
about
groups.
that for a second?
yeah. I betrayed
Sure.
Ryan by voting for Ducat.
I was so bullied in this one. I was like, basically everybody at home.
Including Robert Hewitt Wolf.
I was like,
Yes.
Right.
no, this thing is not a thing. And everybody was like, me. And I was like,
Right now, but
I like the
No.
Beaker voice.
and everybody else was like, me. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just ask Robert Hewitt Wolf. And he was like,
And-
"Me,
and
me,
who
me
did
too." I was like,
he
fine. So I lost, but I still hold fast to my belief. We don't have to get into it, but look back a few weeks and you'll see we really had it out about this betrayal one, and they bullied me.
Ryan said the biggest betrayal was of me on that question.
Yeah, right. You guys.
Well,
We're just keeping in themes.
sometimes,
There you go.
have
I'm not
to
going to
point out
I'm not
when
going to do
you're
the theme for the
wrong.
next one, which is favorite singing moment in Star Trek.
Woo!
I love this question so much.
Yeah, Melissa can do
I
that
do
better than me.
Ah.
Favorite
Woo.
singing moment in all of Star Trek.
Mhm.
You know
That was
what I
pretty-
noticed on this very quickly? No new Star Trek
Yeah, I noticed that too.
was in this. And I kind of assumed that would be the case because we don't see much. There were a couple in the short treks.
Yeah.
And then really that's kind of it, right?
There was
And then between Tilly and Stamets.
that's the one I was gonna say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then now
But-
Stormy Weathers kind of happened in Discovery, which was fun. And I guess there was that band concert in Lower Decks. But I don't know the name of the song they played.
The band concert. You mean when it was just the two of them playing?
Wasn't there like, I don't remember.
No,
it was like
Boimler.
a band in 10 Forward.
No, Boimler was playing this one instrument
Oh,
and singing
yeah.
and dancing around. I'm doing a rewatch, so I just saw that. And
That's
then
smart.
Mariner comes on with her
Yes.
heavy metal,
Yeah.
and then they think it's Boimler who's making all the noise, and they break his fiddle.
Can I just point out that Mel Cedro says, I would say the best was Eddington's, but I felt Seska's was the most shocking, just going back on
I
one.
agree.
And I also want to
Like
point
Siska's
out,
singing. Just kidding.
I also want to point out that one Trek fan and Medallion have my back.
Oh,
They're on my team. We're coming back.
Well,
We're
when
coming
the
back on
when
this
the
one.
writer of the episode says you're wrong, then
He didn't say I was wrong because I
You're
strategically
wrong.
did not say
Only
what
because
side
it-
of the argument I
It was
was
a
on.
question from you. Yeah.
but even still, he said you're wrong.
We'll look back at the tape. It was kind of well, we'll see. I'm not.
Moving on. Next one is Scariest episode of Star Trek, which also, like Ryan said, doesn't have any new ones, interestingly.
Mm.
It was all like TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, stuff like that. So
There were
Enterprise
some
love.
scary Discovery moments that I was like that one where they're on the abandoned ship and the Targ is like running loose or something in season 1. That was pretty scary. But yeah, these
Hard?
are
Oh, the
a force to be
tardigrade.
reckoned. Oh yeah, tardigrade. Yeah, these
Yeah, I
are a
was wondering,
force
like,
to be
was there a
reckoned
Targ?
with.
That's cool.
I was
But
like,
I'm just scared of
on
Targs.
Chronos?
Yeah.
Also,
or
I
that
feel like
Klingon generation ship.
also
Oh.
Picard is like throwing its hat in the ring this season. But okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes. Oh my
So the-
gosh, with the Borg Queen especially, she's
Oh,
super
yeah.
creepy.
I couldn't
She's
sleep for
definitely
48
creepy.
hours.
With her slight smile. Very
I slept for
slight.
2 hours and had nightmares and then was up
She-
the rest of the time.
Also, Glenn Iverson says he sided with me on that one too.
Oh,
Just to, for those of you scoring at home right now,
Oh,
that's 4 of
okay.
us and 3 of you.
Well,
So please
Glenn-
continue, Muhammad.
Yeah.
Ryan didn't write the episode. I'm talking to the chat right here.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
Okay. The next one is the one Ryan alluded to earlier. The next one actually is not directly a Star Trek universe episode, but what was the best Star Trek documentary? So that's an
Film.
interesting twist. Documentary film. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this includes things like
that's an
Women in
interesting
Motion, What We
thing.
Left Behind, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Specifically to films, because there's also, docu-series and
Yeah.
there's all kinds of other stuff. So that's kind of for a later time. This is best Star Trek documentary film,
Yep.
which is a fun one for
And
sure.
Yeah.
if you haven't seen all of these, make sure you do because they're just
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
And all the nominations were amazing. I watch them often. They're so good.
Nice.
yeah.
And then last but not least in this category, best Star Trek movie visual effects for its time. Very important to have that last
Important
bit there.
qualifier, yeah.
Yeah. And we have like 1, 2, 4, 6 First Contact in 2009.
Mhm.
The last one was a year, not actually number.
And now for the bonus Renaissance era Star Trek. This was the stuff. These were the late ads. You want to hit those up. So this is
Sure.
2017 to 2019.
Yeah.
And this is specifically for the Renaissance Awards.
So this is mostly Discovery and the earlier short treks, except for Children of Mars.
Right. It's the first 2 seasons of Discovery
Yep.
and the first 9 episodes of short treks. That's all of them except Children of Mars, as you mentioned.
Yep.
All right,
Mhm.
here they come,
So
fast
first-
and furious.
Favorite reintroduced Star Trek, the original series character.
Ooh.
So that was pretty exciting. Next one is
Ooh.
best episode of 2017-2019 Star Trek. And this one did have 2 entries from short treks as well as 6 from Discovery. So,
which can we just say we loved to see?
yeah.
Because, short treks, we get it. It's not like a flagship show, but they definitely should get mentioned.
Yeah.
They're so varied, and they are still Star Trek. And it was really cool to see that they were being represented in the polling.
Yeah.
This is represented by the fans. They were picking them, and it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and it
It's
shows
so good.
such a diverse creativity in each short trek, so they should
Absolutely.
be represented.
That's
So
wonderful to be able to
wonderful.
tell a story in 15 minutes that's really compelling. That's really powerful. I love it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, only 3 left. Favorite moment of 2017-2019 Star Trek? So that was pretty exciting. There were a lot of great moments in those first 2
Alright.
seasons of Discovery, for
I'll
sure.
never stop smiling
Mhm.
about the previously on Star Trek.
Yeah,
recap.
that was
just
great too.
Such a treat.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
And now we
that was
have the
brilliant.
most interesting character in 2017-2019 Star Trek. So remember I said earlier that like you couldn't count Michael Burnham or Saru. Now you can for this one.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I also have to say, so Sylvia Tilley, Mary Weissman, is doing an off-Broadway play at Lincoln Center
Oh,
right now in New York at the wedding. And also the woman who played Minuet from TNG is in it. And if you're anywhere in the New York area, it's $30 for a ticket. Make sure you go. I think it says mid-April, and it's just, oh my gosh, we're so lucky to have Tilly.
Is that Carolyn McCormack? Is that her name?
Yes, it was just so, and she's amazing too. It's just phenomenal at the wedding. Make sure you
Awesome.
check it out.
Then last but not least, this last one's actually one of my favorites, even though it's completely silly. It's still one of my favorites. Favorite supporting bridge officer or character appearing in Star Trek Discovery 2017-2019. So these are the folks like Ariam and Nan and Nielsen and Reese and Detmer and Bryce, Olsican,
And your
Linus, the
favorite?
Osnolis.
Yeah.
The Osnolis is
Basically, the
plug-in.
people that you see on the bridge that sometimes they speak, sometimes they don't.
side
In the
eye.
first 2 seasons, they hardly had any lines, but we were all so interested in saying, "Who's that guy? Who's she?
Yeah.
What's this? What's that?"
Yep.
So, giving them some love.
That's it. Those are the ones that people voted on. So it'd be really exciting to see who won. And again, as Ryan said, you all picked.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So we have an opportunity for you now. I don't know if Ryan, if you want to put it in the chat.
Yeah,
We have an
Let's
opportunity
get-
now.
let's get them to click away from our
And like
videos.
Yeah.
Opportunity. So we have, that I've been reading off all these off of is a predictions sheet. So if you like, you can actually just download and print out this prediction sheet, or you can just circle the right answers and then write them on the first page. And then at the end, when you're watching the LLAPy Award show, tally up a score and see how well you did. So you can come back
Here's
to
the
Ryan's
thing,
question.
too. It's a
Get all-
worksheet, and it needs to be shared with hashtag Lappies
That's what I was
or
gonna say.
at virtual check on. But I just had to interrupt because I'm
No,
looking at
please.
you, One Truck fan. This is when this came up. I was like, this is up One Truck fans alley so hard to fill this out. And my money is on Lisa. If
Yeah.
anybody can
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
I'm
don't
a
think
high
Marina
score.
Kravchuk has a chance of dethroning it?
okay, yeah.
Lisa's up there. Marina, Melissa, Muhammad. You have any? Okay, you know what? Anne Marie,
New
this is what
level.
we're gonna do.
We're gonna
You got-
vote on who gets the best one.
Yeah, they're gonna bet on who's gonna win, and we're gonna bet on who has the most right answers. Anne Marie, you got Lisa. I've got
And Lisa
Marina.
Herrera all the way.
Yep, I've got Marina Kravchuk. What about you, Muhammad and Melissa?
I'll go with David Gregory.
Oh,
Ooh,
Who's gonna
dark-
have
It's on
the
the
most?
poll.
Most correct
Who's
ones.
gonna have the most right answers?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I just like David Gregory.
Glenn,
That's why I
Glenn
picked him. It wasn't-
Iverson's pretty good at these too, Melissa.
Yeah,
Ever
I
since the trivia
know. And
came.
I'm torn between Glenn and Medallion.
Mm,
But Diamond would have the funniest for sure.
Although, no, I'm going to go with Don Crandall.
Oh,
Oh.
a dark horse indeed, right there. Okay, that's a good one.
Oh, this is
I
good.
love Lisa wrote in the chat, oh my God, the pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. You're going to be a diamond by the end of this day. Mhm.
Oh, the
Because
pressure.
if you lose, Lisa, then Anne-Marie loses
to call
whatever
for
the
you.
bet is.
Yeah,
No.
we're still winners.
Okay, but then we got to make it interesting, because then we have to make it to like the next time we have the main viewer, then this impacts, like if Muhammad loses, he has to wear a Warriors jersey for me or something like that.
That's a small cost. That's fair.
If Anne-Marie loses, she has to watch like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or something.
How
Oh my
about I have to
God.
wear a baseball hat?
Oh.
If Melissa loses, she has to hang out with Scott Baker for 15 minutes.
Oh,
That one.
darn. You gave me
Anyway.
the hardest one.
One Trek fan wants to know if there's a collectible at stake.
I know exactly. Well, the thing I thought about with her
Oh.
immediately was like, this worksheet can be like screenshot, or like a picture can be taken of the worksheet, and then that can go with her collectibles.
Actually-
Pictures on Instagram. She has like the best collection.
There's a good point in the chat, actually, Medallion made, which is really important. That Medallion said, I gave serious answers and I didn't vote on ones I didn't experience. We actually noticed that, not about Medallion
Good,
specifically,
yes.
but we noticed that in general,
Mm.
that a lot of people did follow the instructions properly on that. And there were a lot of, basically the number of answers to each question was not constant. So
Yeah.
it was very smart that people did that instead of just picking a random thing. But they were just like, I don't know, I haven't watched, Picard or whatever. So they're like, I'm just going to skip that
Mm.
one. So
Yeah, my dad
Not
called
just-
me because he hadn't
Right.
watched Lower Decks. He was like, what should I do? This
Yeah,
is so cute.
just skip it. Yeah.
Not just smart on their behalf, but I thought it was very honorable and helpful for us to get the correct answers. And that's why
Yeah.
we
Right.
put it in we put those caveats a couple times in the instructions. We said very specifically, if you have not watched the show or you don't have an opinion, please don't vote, because we don't want people just voting, on random stuff. If they vote on random stuff, we're not really going to get the actual best one or people's actual favorite, because
Right.
it's going to be mostly people just guessing. And you guys totally did that. There were some that had like 20 or 30% less answers than some of the others.
Yep.
Which
Mhm.
showed a significant enough decrease to tell us that clearly people said, okay, haven't watched this, or I don't know this, so I'm going to leave it blank. And we really appreciate that. That was really cool. Star Trek fans really made us proud there.
attention to
Thanks for bringing that
minutia.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
It makes it accurate. Yeah.
It is.
A couple of things in the chat. One Trek fan already said that she was going to post hers tonight. So that's
I
awesome.
knew it.
And Marianne Siegel
Nice.
says Anne-Marie in a baseball hat. Thud.
I saw
It
that. It's great.
But let me remind you what Anne-Marie said earlier, which is very important. That like what we want you to do is put your guesses, put them on that front sheet, print it out, take a picture of yourself with that sheet, or at least just the sheet.
Mhm.
Hashtag it with hashtag LLAPy, LLAPy. And if you can, it'd be nice if you also do an @virtual TrekCon, so that we're more likely to be able to find it.
We'll be watching.
Yeah,
And
the
you
the
can-
at
and
virtual
you can-
TrekCon is even more important than the hashtag, because you might that
Right.
hashtag might be a little confusing. I myself have found myself typing LAPPY once or twice by accident,
But
but
your
it's
phone doesn't autocorrect.
LLAPY.
Yeah.
It's live long and prosper. Why?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I've
Lappy
done that
dance.
too. And it might even be fun if you add a little cosplay in there with your
Ooh.
selfie.
Oh my gosh, do not give Lisa Herrera tasks. She has too much cosplay to choose from.
all right. So should we
Well-
go ahead and say that
Multiple
If they-
outfits.
if they add cosplay to it, they get 1 bonus point?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
True.
yes. And if you have multiple cosplay, then
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
Thanks, Mohammed. You added that in the chat for them.
Yep.
All right. So, final thoughts on the LLAPy Awards before we move on to this really big Kirk information. So, this is all going to be live again, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the first day of spring, which is March 20th. And we will have some surprises. We may have some special guests. There are going to be all kinds of goodies for all of you to enjoy. One
Can we
Trek fan says
reveal-
game on.
Can we reveal the pre
Game
and post
on.
Slappy event, or is it too soon?
I feel like we've been teasing the Kirk stuff so
Okay,
long that
okay,
people are gonna like riot. So we'll definitely we'll talk about that first, right after this Kirk talk.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
So so everybody at home, we are going to talk about all of Virtual TrekCon 3, as well as possibly the most exciting part about the LLAPy Awards is the stuff happening right before and right after. But before we get into that, there is some big breaking news that just happened. It wasn't even like this morning. It was like way late in the afternoon. And that information is right here. From our good friends at Star Trek Strange New World, trekmovie.com, our good buddies. It's trekmovie.com. It's about Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Dude,
And everybody knows.
I didn't even notice this because I just have to say, I saw Wesley in the headline and I thought Wesley was going to be in Strange New Worlds and I almost had a heart attack.
Oh, Wesley Crusher.
And then I forgot to go back and read the article.
Anne Marie.
Sorry.
Are you trying to say that you're one of those people that shares articles without reading them?
I didn't share it, if you notice. I was in such shock. Okay. Sorry, continue.
I didn't.
Will Wheaton is right now logging off. He's like, I don't want to listen to this anymore.
Like, where did the traveler take him?
So yeah, our good friends at trekmovie.com. Breaking: James T. Kirk is coming to Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2. Okay, interesting.
Oh yeah, they're on the
Season
streets of Toronto
2.
right now filming.
Season 2. Yeah.
Somebody like happened upon them on the streets.
So I believe this is the new Kirk. Okay, you guys at home, tell me this guy doesn't give you a little bit of Ash from Night of the Living Dead. What was that?
No, it's Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah. Right? He kind of looks like Shop
not
Smart.
really-
Shop
He's not
S
really
Smart.
doing it for me.
He just needs the chainsaw.
Yeah.
On
Okay,
his
so
hand.
that's the story. Actor Paul Wesley has joined the cast of Season 2 of Paramount Plus's Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Wesley will play the role of Captain James T. Kirk, but not as a captain.
Yeah.
Yet
So
that we know of.
interesting.
We know of.
Yeah, so yesterday, somebody posted on Twitter that they had run into Strange New Worlds filming on Toronto's streets, and they had identified the actor, but he wasn't wearing a gold tunic, so no one knew what role he was. And this is what happens when I look away from Twitter for a few hours. Wow.
They didn't count the pips.
I guess it was like a weird. It was just like a passing phone thing, so they want to get in trouble.
It's definitely making it to the popular media too, because like since we've been on this Zoom, I saw an email pop up from my former when I was in college, a long time ago. I graduated in 1992. My college professor at the time was a big Star Trek fan, and he just sent me an email which just popped up in there saying like Kirk in Strange New Worlds was the subject line. So
Yeah.
he's clearly fine. He doesn't follow Star Trek news, so he's
not
definitely
a-
making it to mainstream news.
No
Our
William
buddy at
Shatner.
Orville Nation says Jim Carrey vibe. Kind of.
I
Oh,
can see
Glenn
that.
Iverson says Jim Carrey too. Wow, this is interesting.
Well, somebody
Rose
else
Kirby.
says Justin Bieber.
Oh.
Uh,
Rose Kirby says Paul Wesley was actually in the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
He played
Mhm.
Stefan Salvador, or probably Stefan.
I looked up his IMDb. He was in a couple of shows. He was in a couple of episodes of Law and Order. I think both SVU and Criminal Intent. He was in Cold Case and like an episode or two. He had a sort of steady career of things over the past 20-ish years. So
Okay. I'm going to guess that between the four of us, we have not seen a combined 5 episodes of Law and Order.
oh no, I've seen tons.
Are you kidding?
Really? Am I that wrong?
Wait, is that the Dun Dun show?
SBU.
Is that
Both
the show
original
that
and
has the
SVU.
that's the show that
SBU
says
is a
Dun Dun?
great show.
That's that one.
Dun dun.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
no, I
what it
haven't.
is.
I've seen at least 20,
Special Victims Unit.
maybe
Maybe
more.
I've seen an episode.
Yeah.
If you watch,
Is that the one with Ice-T in it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
love-
and Michelle Hurd was in the first season.
I love SVU.
Is Scott Bakula in that or something?
No,
No.
he's in something else. I forget. He's in like CSI New Orleans or something
Yes,
like
I
that.
something.
It's different than CSI. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. But if you guys watch Resident Alien, which has its director and executive producer Robbie McNeil, there's frequent references to Law and Order in that show because the
in the
main
premiere,
character watches it. Yes.
That was really cute.
And
Yeah,
not
that's
just the
how I
premiere,
know
this
it's the
season too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cute. I need to watch season 2.
Yeah, this season there was something. He goes to New York for something, and somebody asks him, like, "Why are you going to New York?" He's like, "I want to see where Law and Order happens."
That's really adorable.
It is.
So, Scott Jensen says, aka Galdu Scott, says, "Please, I've seen every episode of SVU."
I am. His name is
Yeah.
Finn Ryan about
Here's the
Ice-T.
question: is there an SBU convention?
Ooh.
That I'm aware of.
We're gonna get so many people.
I can't remember exactly how the intro goes. It's like, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York, these are investigated by the Special Victims Unit, something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of broke down at the end, but something along those lines.
Sounds like a car.
Yay, Mariska Hargitay.
Two real women downer.
Yeah, she's
I don't
great.
watch it.
Well,
Okay. All right. I was wrong. You guys
Okay.
love SVU, Law and Order.
And the original.
I don't know. Okay. So
Jerry
everybody at
Orbach.
home, check out that trekmovie.com article. There's way more with this. There are a couple little sneaky pictures taken from Toronto Filming on Twitter that they've included in their article, and also a video of this fellow Paul Wesley in the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. Here's the
Whoa,
hack.
It's
for
the
getting-
CW's most watched series for 8 seasons. Wow.
Oh.
mm,
I
The
can see
hack
it.
for getting like the Toronto news the fastest is to follow the Filming in Toronto Twitter accounts, where people just walking around Toronto happen upon sets. Then you get all the news first.
Mhm.
Really cool.
Okay. So everybody go ahead and check that out. You got a lot of homework. Number one is print out and fill out your predictions for the LLAPy Awards. This is not a vote. You're not voting. The voting has already happened. It's already over. The winners already exist, and they will be announced on Sunday. What this is your predictions, like when you're doing the Oscars party or when you're voting on March, or you're making your predictions on March Madness. You are guessing, who do you think is going to win? Not your favorite. Like, you could be like, my favorite is this one, but I think this one's going to win because people just won't shut up about this one. This is the one, you know.
Okay.
Sorry, it sounded like you're going to say something.
I was just like, wait, are you starting to do an Ira impression? And then it was starting to be your
No.
Ira voice almost, and I wasn't paying attention because I got a message about virtual TrekCon, and then I looked up and was like, oh, we're not talking about Tuesday sign at all. Okay, sorry. There's a virtual TrekCon scheduling information happening. Sorry, don't pay attention.
This
to
is
me.
live.
I know.
We can't edit this out. We
Yeah,
can't
don't
be
pay
like,
attention
"Oh,
to me."
editing.
pause this so we can have a nice long
No, you
conversation
continue
about
to-
weird stuff,
Yeah, you
and then we'll
continue
start
talking.
again.
Yeah.
Okay, will do.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So up next, Sunday is going to have a lot of festivities during virtual TrekCon 3. We've teased it. Anne Marie's busy playing Wordle, but isn't that what that new thing is? Wordle or new?
Okay, first of all, this is 2 months old. I've been
Okay.
talking about you for I've been
Thumbs
talking
down.
about it for like 2 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
So
still
what do we have going on preceding the LLAPy Awards, like right leading up to it?
know. Oh, we're treating it like a real sports event / word show. So there will be a
Cookout?
hype show prior.
Cookout.
And the hype show is
Tailgating?
hosted by our amazing friends, Trek Geeks, Dan and Bill, featuring Sci-Fi Sis does, one of their network shows. And
Love
it
the
will be
Sci-Fi
of
Sisters.
Ben and Sabrina. And they will be going over all of their picks and talking about everybody in the live chat, like talking to everybody in the live chat about their picks and just the favorites and what's happened so far at Virtual TrekCon. And it's really going to get us all hyped up to start. And then the post-show analysis, which is basically like Sports Center, that is with the best analytical minds in Star Trek. That's going to be
basically like sports stuff, right?
That's how I presented it. I was like, what's that show on ESPN? So that's going to be the best
Totally,
analytical
though.
minds in Star Trek. Dr. Trek himself, Larry Nemechek, John Champion of Mission Log fame, also Charlene Schmidt, who had initially started the podcast To Proudly Go, still is seen on Zocalo, a million other shows, freaking fantastic genius about Star Trek. Also, Brie Belkey, one of the like ultimate fans of Greatest Generation, one of the like top 5 Voyager fans of all time, and just knows
Who are
everything
the
about
other
Star Trek.
4?
Also, obviously, well, Char's one of the others. Marina Kravchuk, I'd say maybe Amy Imhoff. I don't know who's the other. I don't know. There's probably a 5th that I'm forgetting.
The 5th one's
Who's the
probably a
animal
tie
keeper?
with all the C7s, right?
Oh yeah, and hilarious. You
I'm
mean
just
the
trying to
JCs.
stir the pot.
Yeah, let's
No,
stir the pot.
Well, I just heard that C7s are bigger fans than JCs. I mean, I
Oh
Not-
my
you know.
god. Oh my
I
god, are
was
you
like,
starting a
wait,
West Side
what
Story?
are you talking
girl?
about?
Stir the
I
pot.
got it.
Oh
I
my
got
God.
it.
it's Voyager. It's Voyager
Oh,
fandom
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but like
You
Anne Marie
almost
said, it's
tricked
like
me
the
into
West
saying
Side.
C7.
It's like
Yeah,
the
there's a
West
lot
Side
of
Story
snapping.
stuff. Okay. So that's going to be really cool. So basically, think of it when you're watching the Super Bowl or the Emmy Awards, for example. There's like the pregame show, right? There's the pregame show. They're going to make their predictions. They're going to talk about it. They're going to have fun. They're going to have surprises. And then after the LLAPy Awards, we're going to have the post-game show and analysis where they're going to talk about which one surprised them. And as Anne Marie said,
freaking wait.
she said, if you get these people on the post-game show, it's basically canon at this point.
That's what I said. I was like, yeah, exactly. That
Great quote.
goes in history.
Oh, I thought there was more to that. Okay.
I just can't wait. Like, I can barely even focus on anything else. How excited I am for Sunday.
I can believe
But
that.
also the whole convention.
Yeah, there's gonna be some great panels just throughout the whole time.
Oh my god! I mean, starting with Thursday with our 2 Trek Day, Sir Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. So who's ready to hear about, the schedule that's coming out
Me.
I
tomorrow?
have to do the
Okay.
Shatner thing.
Okay, so the schedule, which is, basically done and ironed out. There are always a couple last minute additions that are fun and exciting. But day 1, we've just added a 5th day officially, which is Thursday, which means this show is starting in 40 hours instead of 3 days from now. It's 2 days from now. Day 1, Thursday, is going to be March 17th, which of course is going to be called Sir Patrick's Day.
17th.
I'm hearing some audio issues. Are you guys hearing audio issues with my mic?
You're fine.
No.
Great. Awesome. So that was really Captain Picard that said Sir Patrick's Day.
That was him.
Okay.
We got a recording of him.
So that one, this is opening night. So think of it as the first night when you're arriving at a convention. There's just a few things. People are coming in. You have the welcoming committee. You have a couple fun little things that set you up before the big days.
A landing
So-
party.
Exactly.
Shorely. Yes.
Mm-hmm. We've got first, we've got a few starting at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. By the way, it actually technically starts at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And what we've done is we blocked off an hour and it says, watch Star Trek Picard. Okay, that's
Like
the
we need
first-
reminders.
the first hour on Thursday is just go watch Star Trek Picard episode 3, because a few hours after that you got to watch the review of Picard with the 7th rule, so you got to be prepared. Then at 3:00 we're going to release some clips of previous virtual TrekCons of some poignant moments and some interesting things, like Robert Hewitt Wolf, writer of Deep Space Nine, asking the cast of Deep Space Nine how they felt about Deep Space Nine tackling the issue of race, and hearing everybody's different answers on that. You know, some really interesting things. We also have the ascension of Mike McMahon, a clip about him talking about how he came up in the world. Also, a story about how Rick Berman helped Gary Graham act like a Vulcan in the first episode of Enterprise when he was playing Ambassador Saval. So those are what we call pre-con viewings. It's not, the convention hasn't officially started, but here's a few things to whet your appetite.
Yeah.
Then
That whistle.
I know. Then let me just close this. This is getting in the way. There we go. Too many things open.
It is
Then at
futile.
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Shore Leave. That is actually, Anne-Marie, you want to tell us about Shore?
It's that they have a theme song.
How does it go?
I need to learn all the words. It is such a bop. It is such a bop. You just have to like listen to the Shore Leave podcast. It's the first thing when you play an episode, and it's so fun. But they are the experts in conventions. And I believe in this one, they will be telling us all the details about the cruise, which is especially timely because the next cruise just went on sale and those tickets are getting snapped up. So I cannot even wait to hear about it.
Snapped.
Mm-hmm.
Our good buddy Bill Victor Arukin, associate producer.
Sorry.
That's the one. You know him.
Yes, he just posted he's going. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh crap, if Bill Arukin's going, that's where the party is.
We all better go. So he's an associate producer of the 7th Rule, and he will be on the cruise next year. So if that's not enough reason to convince you, then check your pulse.
And it leaves from LA. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to consider it. Okay. So that's going to be basically your welcoming committee. Jesse and Marina, the aforementioned Voyager fan, and the horse that I'm riding in on in this race that I think is going to win. She's the one I'm betting on. She's going to take it home.
Can I change mine?
No. And so the
Okay.
next, yeah,
I
sure.
want to know who you're changing to.
Wait, you had Don Crandall. Don't.
Okay. No.
Are you two-timing?
Can I two-time?
Yes.
He's not watching.
I
He hasn't
have
woken
two?
up yet. Who's your other?
Can I have two? Well, my other is a group. The Sci-Fi Sisters. I'm gonna ride their horse.
So you're gonna say 5 of them are gonna.
Sabrina does
I
have
think
her finger
that's
on the
cheating.
pulse.
I think 5 people is cheating.
Okay, so
I don't know. We did do
Sabrina
that
of
at
the
trivia on the
Sci-Fi
cruise too,
Sisters.
though.
Then I picked the Picard group of 66,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
All right. So
Silly.
you may have one sister, but you
okay,
have to.
Sabrina.
I would choose
Sabrina.
Sabrina too.
That's a good choice.
She does all the pulls in Mothership. She really has her finger on the pulse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don Crandall's gonna be pissed.
Got deluded.
Then
No.
I'm just
Well,
kidding.
he could be my alternate.
Then at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, we've got the official virtual TrekCon opening ceremonies.
Ooh.
So
But
that's
open
it.
with that little video from the website.
Oh yeah. We are gonna just We
If
are
you guys-
going to spare no expense. Just kidding. We don't have any money.
If you guys haven't gone to the website, if you go to the LLAPy thing, it immediately does this little video with a rolling red carpet coming out. and
So
stuff.
fun.
It's very fun. It's very well done too. Credit to Scott, I believe, who
Good
did that,
job,
right?
Scott. Yeah.
And the other Scott Jensen, aka Goldu Scott, says 5 people, but they're kind of like Voltron. So they
Love
come
that.
together to form.
They're collective.
The cat
Mhm.
version or the car
They're
version?
collective.
So yeah, so we'll have the let me close this too. Too many things open. The virtual TrekCon opening ceremonies will be after that.
Mhm.
Then we'll have the 7th rule review of Star Trek Picard at its usual time, Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be a great one. Then Falling Tower, Watch the First podcast, reviews the first episode of the original series, which there was much debate. So we put that up in a poll. This was a LLAPy poll to include which is the first episode in the first episode category. And the winner was that The Cage is what most people consider
And
to
by a
be
landslide.
the well, it wasn't that much of a landslide.
Wasn't it like
was it?
60%?
No, that's impossible.
I
Maybe
swear-
I don't know.
I swear it was a landslide. But yeah.
Either way, it won, and that is what most people consider to be the first episode of the original series. So that is the one that Falling Tower will be discussing. And we'll be discussing whether we would watch the second episode or whether we'd say, that's enough.
Kind of
out
done
of
with that
you."
franchise.
The guests on that show will be meteorologist Katie Nicolau and
Great
actress
Nice.
genius Bridget Fitzgerald.
Two great
Uh,
choices.
We also have our good friends at Lambda Quadrant, LGBTQ friendly
Whoop, whoop.
space. They will be doing 3D printing of Star Trek swag. If you want to know how to make Star Trek swag with a 3D printer, first of all, you're probably smarter than I am if you can do that. Secondly, just watch their tutorial. It should be a good time.
Pretty interesting stuff.
They make fun swag.
They
Or guns
do.
galore. Yeah.
Okay.
We're guys.
Then after that, can we talk about this new feature that we did on the 7th rule? Melissa knows all about it. It is called the Lost
Gosh.
Episodes. Melissa, you want to tell us what that is?
The lost episodes are from writers of Deep Space Nine who pitched stories that didn't get picked. So Ryan reads through the synopsis, and we have the writer of these stories, pitched stories, take us through, you know, their memories of their pitch and the responses that they got, and it's so much fun because it's story hour, and that's great hour.
It is a great hour.
It's not an hour, but
Yeah.
it's a good time.
So to those of us that want more Deep Space Nine,
Mhm.
it's
Who
never going to
doesn't?
happen. Grow up. But here, however, we can hear some writers and these were all writers that successfully pitched and had episodes picked up of, Deep Space Nine. And these were episodes that they pitched that didn't get picked up or almost got picked up or got discussed, or it was too similar to something else. But either way, to us, it felt
Right.
like we just got to experience a new Deep Space Nine episode, and hearing and these are people that had this treatment from the 90s. This is still the same thing that they wrote out 25 years ago.
So cool.
And each one is just as intriguing and innovative as the ones that did get picked. It's just, sometimes semantics makes it not work out, not the lack of creativity or
Totally. And sometimes
wonderfulness.
they would get picked up a few years later, even if it had been rejected at the time, like they'd get a call. So say a season was maybe like 30 episodes instead of 26, they could have easily been called like a couple years later to say, oh, remember that one you pitched? Like that definitely happened a bunch. So they very well could have been episodes.
Can I just give a hearty shout out to a very important member of the Seventh Rule, Dr. Susan B Gruner, who is in the live chat, and she says, by the way, no, we can't say what, we shouted her out on something else recently, but you'll have to stick around to find out about that later. For
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sue says in the live chat, she says, I can't wait to be in California in May to meet some of the fabulous peeps here. Wish you could all go. How awesome would that be? That's where it ends.
Back to the point about those lost episodes. Medallion had a great comment saying it's the Empok Nor of episodes.
Yeah. And
that's really cool.
And Sirach makes some interesting guesses too, which is always fun.
And what was cool was that a lot of these episodes happened to be written about happened to be just about Jake Sisko and Nog, which was really cool. They weren't, I don't think they were just pandering to us where they're like, oh, let me just make something up about Jake and Nog. People just happen to write episodes about Jake and Nog. They wanted more Jake.
If you've listened to Mission Log, when they talk about trivia about episodes in the beginning of their Deep Space Nine reviews, a lot of times they'll say what the episode originally was. And literally almost like every time that happens, it was originally about Jake. There's so many stories picked up initially about Jake or like pitched about Jake. It's amazing. I can't even wait to hear. I can't wait to see Sirach's response to them.
Yeah.
And then we have the last thing that night. It'll be pretty late in the night. Will be a Throwback Thursday, which is just a re-premiering of a video from Virtual Trek Con 2 that's kind of timely. It's Adam Malin, who's the head at Creation, who puts on these conventions. And he talks about 50 years of conventions, of putting on conventions for 50 years. It's an unbelievable story. We wanted to share that again in closing on the first night. And some of you may be asking, why do you have this thing going on till like 1 a.m. Eastern time? Well, I can't see that. Well, because this is a global thing. And a lot of these videos, people in, say, Australia or China or Japan or New Zealand, or even in Hawaii or Alaska, might not be able to watch the early ones, but they can watch the late ones. And so what we are going to have in the days after the first day are, we're going to have a couple episodes that are re-premiered where they go live in the morning or afternoon for you guys. But then when you guys are going to bed at, 11, 12, 1 a.m. Eastern time, these will re-premiere for the people in the other time zones so that they can still enjoy the fan interaction, the premiering, all the good stuff that everybody gets. Because what do we always say, Muhammad? No elitism.
That's right. And it's all permanently on YouTube. So if you, it's all on YouTube. So if you miss the premiere, you can just watch it an hour later. It's totally fine. Or you watch it a day later. Or
and you can watch with the live chat and spy on what people were saying.
Yeah.
And it's all free, by the way, which also goes under the no elitism banner. Basically,
how much is it?
It's like $5.
For free?
No, it's all free. We don't even know how to handle money. That's too much work. So that's day one. We're going to fire through the next few days because we only have a little bit of time left. So that's day one. Day two is Friday. The first thing on the list that morning is watch Discovery if you haven't already, because the review will be coming later that day on the Seventh Rule. Then we will have
finale.
Oh, you mean Muhammad's show?
It would be cool if Muhammad were part of that review now that his embargo would be over. Once that final episode goes up, it would be that embargo's over and he can talk all he wants.
I can talk a lot.
Oh my God, I can't even wait.
But anybody that wants to know what Muhammad has to say about Discovery, you're going to have to wait a couple more days. 3.5 to be precise.
I'll say now it's awesome.
2.5. Yeah.
That.
Then we've also got another video from back in the day. Very quickly, it's called "In Loving Memory of Richard Arnold." This was an interview that Sirach and I recorded with Richard Arnold, who was the assistant directly to Gene Roddenberry himself. And he's got so many stories to tell. This was just a few months before he passed away tragically, and he pretty much knew. And so he was very gracious with his time, and we were very honored that he did that. So we'll be playing this. It's a little bit more than a year after his passing. So that will be what we've got in the morning. Then we'll do a couple lost episodes. We got a whole bunch of those. So there's going to be super fun for you guys. And they're little bite-sized morsels. They're like, 15 to 23 minutes long, little stories of it's kind of like if your friend said, hey, what was the episode Empok Nor about? And you told them all about it, maybe take you 15 or 20 minutes. That's what this is. Then we'll have the Seventh Rule Roundtable, where some of our patrons made their predictions as to what they thought would win the LLAPy Awards. So these are their predictions. Maybe you could use those to get your own predictions in, but trust your instincts.
Be swayed.
Yeah.
Then we also have the Sci-Fi Sisters. They have a new top 10 for us. Star Trek top 10, The Women. So this will be an interesting one. This is their top 10 women of Star Trek. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Melora's going to be way up there.
Melora is number 1, obviously.
No.
Then the Voyager documentary. We've got the Voyager documentary update and live discussion. Myself and a couple other producers of the Voyager documentary will update everybody on production and what we shot on the Star Trek cruise, and it's going to be a great time. So everybody that likes Voyager and or is interested in the Voyager documentary, check that out. And speaking of Voyager, right after that, Garrett Wong and Megan Elise of the Delta Flyers will be joining in the fun with Sirach, Melissa, and myself to talk about Voyager, talk about the documentary, talk about the Delta Flyers, all kinds of goodies. And then there's a new show being premiered, a brand new show, and it is called, should we even tell them what it's called? Or should we just wait?
Tell them.
Or should we wait until, okay. It's called Star Trek and Chill, everybody. And it's a live show on the Virtual TrekCon channel in which we just talk about Star Trek and chill. There's only one rule with this new show. And this goes for the people that are on the show and the people watching the show. There's only one rule on this Friday night chill show. And that is that you must have a beverage. You can't chill without a beverage. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. It doesn't have to be prune juice. But it does. You must have a beverage to properly chill. Yeah. So stick around for that. That's going to be a great one. It's going to be a great way to end the week, and just hang out, Star Trek and chill. Melissa hates that name. Look she's like, that sounds dumb.
It's a surprise.
All right. So then after that, we've got the Greatest Generation visits 10 forward, which will be linked in because during Star Trek and Chill, we'll be unboxing this giant Picard box that's over there. I should have grabbed it. This giant Picard box, we'll be unboxing that and looking at all the goodies there. We'll look at all the goodies that we got at 10 forward. I guess I should have saved this for that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, whoops. So that'll be a great time. And then the Greatest Generation, which is like Anne Marie's favorite podcast ever.
Okay, I don't play favorites, but they were my first Star Trek podcast ever. And the reason I started getting into Star Trek again, and also they get a lot of people to go public with their Star Trek love. It does a lot of good for the fandom. And they're fun and hilarious. And they call themselves Friends of DeSoto, which is Riker's old ship captain, because it's the chill hang. So they'll be on Twitch for an hour and a half, making some Star Trek cocktails and everybody just talking. It'll be really fun.
So you will get the inside scoop a tour of 10 Forward, which is going to be really cool. You're going to see the video of them walking around and then trying out beverages and stuff like that. That should be a great time. Then after that, we've got the 7th Rule Star Trek Discovery finale review with Dr. Mohammed Noor.
It'll be fun. Come join us. We'll talk science and everything else.
Maybe. Who knows? Who can predict what we'll talk about? Right? What? Hydrocarbons? Yeah.
Hydrocarbons. That word will probably come up.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Then more lost episodes. And then a couple re-premierings. Then on Saturday, we'll have a watch the first clip. Look, remember Saturday morning cartoons? We're going to have a watch the first clip of our discussion of Enchantment, which is a cartoon. That's all the cartoons we got.
Oh.
Sorry. That's all you get. You get 5 minutes of someone talking about a cartoon.
Oh
Did you ever watch the first of Dungeons and Dragons? Did you ever do that one?
No, but
Okay.
there's no chance that we won't, because I really want to. Although it's so hard to find because it's only on YouTube and it's a pretty grainy thing, but it's worth it.
Oh,
It is so worth it.
let's put a pin in Dungeons and Dragons and continue.
That cartoon was epic.
And Marie is that's a wise move right there. She knows how to tease.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. So Muhammad's talking about Discovery and Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna have to put those together on Sunday. How? Well, who knows? Right now we're on Saturday. Then we've got Lambda Quadrants back. This is a great one. They're gonna be talking about from metaphor to storyline, the history of LGBTQ representation in Star Trek. That's very interesting. Really looking forward to checking that out. Then we have Larry Nemechek and Dr. Ali Matu doing Life Support Live.
Their finale.
Yeah.
Weekly shows that have been going on since the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
They'll still get together once in a while, but this is their last, their pandemic finale.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of
Very
sad.
major.
Okay. That's kind of sad. But that is their finale, so go check that out. Then our good friends at Women at Warp will be joining us. Melissa, can you please tell us about that?
There's going to be a discussion about Lower Decks and Prodigy and how it is bringing new fans into the fandom and keeping it relevant for seasoned Trek fans of yesteryear. Yeah. So that should be fun.
That's gonna be great.
12,
We love
at
them.
noon Pacific.
That's
Women at Work
noon
with
time on
special guest
Saturday.
Melissa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're bearing the lead, Melissa. By
Yeah.
the way, Melissa is one of the guests, or is the guest of the show, joining them.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Then we have something very exciting. It is our Mars Science panel with Dr. Tanya Harrison and Dr. Abigail Freeman. And Dr. Mohammed Noor will be there helping to moderate. Boy, this is a very exciting one. If you like Mars, I'd be like,
Not the
when have you
chocolate.
ever been? Yeah.
Not the chocolate.
I mean, they're like as close as you can get to going to Mars. Doesn't
Yeah, they've
Abby
literally-
actually drive on Mars?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They've literally both
Yeah.
driven that rover.
Freaking so cool.
Incredible.
Pretty
Mars scientists.
Fantastic.
So rather than telling you all about that, just go check it out. It is, what they do is very impressive and very interesting. And boy, that is a pretty cool job to play with Mars. Then we've got our Renaissance
It is.
Award. Well, I mean, that's what it feels like. It would be
That
so
is,
much fun.
yeah.
It would be so much
I
fun.
want to drive that
how do you not-
rover.
So
How
interesting.
cool is that?
And we've got the Renaissance
awesome.
Awards, and that's just, the few awards that are just specifically between 2017 and 2019. It's kind of like a LLAPy's preview, like a little mini show the day before. It's kind of like, think of it as the dunk contest during NBA All-Star Weekend, right? That's what it obviously is. The dunk contest and the 3-point contest. Yeah.
The only dunking thing I know about is from Greece.
Oh my goodness, we're almost out of time. Time to fly through.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, wait, we got to slow it back down. The Science Quiz Show with meteorologist Katie Nicolau, Dr. Muhammad Noor, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel. Can you please tell us what that's about? Because that's one of my favorite things I've ever seen. And I'm so glad you guys are creative enough to come up with new stuff to do it again.
Can we do it, or do you want to do it, Anne-Marie?
Go for it.
All right, so we're gonna toss out a bunch of questions at folks in the 3 areas in sort of physical science astronomy, or sorry, not astronomy, physical science meteorology, the biological sciences broadly, like especially genetics and evolution, and in medical sciences. And what everybody does is they go into the YouTube chat and they type in the answers, and basically we're going to keep score as we're going on in terms of both speed and accuracy. So if you're fast and get right answers, there will be prizes to be given out. But it's just gonna be a lot of fun where we go over some science, and, basically presenting to you some science all related to Trek, and just having a great time with everybody in chat.
Oh my gosh, I love speed and accuracy, listen. It's really just who gets to answer first, but that sounds so much more scientific.
It's both, really.
Yeah,
you can be fast and wrong. It doesn't help you.
It is a measure
By the
of
way,
your speed and
I forgot
accuracy.
to mention that Saturday is called Science and Women Day, because you probably noticed the theme so far. There's women at Warp. There's the Mars scientists. We've got the science panel that you guys are doing. It's all about science and women.
Science and women
on
and science
Saturday.
women.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, well, no, then Dan Curry. but he's very sciencey in what he does, because
Freaking awesome.
He's created so many cool things. Like, this is the guy that created the Batleth and the Mechleth, and he's the guy that helped make like explosions and stuff and in the art department for old school Star Trek.
And opening credits for Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So we'll be going over his new book, The Artistry of Dan Curry.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous too. And then we have a panel entitled
and I believe he also works on Picard. Okay, continue.
Yep. Then we also have a very exciting panel that Melissa may know. It's called Mothers of Trek. This is another really cool one. Can you please tell us who is joining you in this one?
Joining me on this panel are special guests, Nana visitor Terry Farrell, Nikki DeBoer, and Kitty Swink. Yes, and we will be talking about mothers. All of them except for Kitty are mothers and be motherhood working in the business, show business, and specifically Deep Space Nine and their experiences, in that. And we're going to look at the flip side of someone who chose not to be a mother in the conventional sense. So that should be fun.
Wow, that's going to be awesome. That's such a good one. That's on Saturday, everybody. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. So good. Then we also have the Zocalo. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Star Trek Prodigy's first 10 episodes and their impact on Star Trek fandom.
Okay, yes.
Anne-Marie, what can you tell us about that?
Babylon 5. So it's Shar and Norm's Babylon 5 show, but occasionally they do Deep Space franchise specials. And this is the first one they're doing about Prodigy. And if you know anything about Shar, it's that she is a diehard JCer. So I'm very excited to hear.
Wait, C7 or JC?
You little sneak. Don't trick me into saying C7. JCer. So I can't even wait to hear Shar and just Voyager Encyclopedia. So I can't wait to hear their take on Prodigy so far.
I'm never going to get over that JC C7 thing. I think that's hilarious.
I know
that they're just that it's such a thing. It's such a West Side Story thing, as you were saying.
Okay, I was walking through the parking lot at Gold Coast really fast, going from Rio to Gold Coast, and I saw spray painted on the thing like JC.
No.
And I was like, oh my God, is this the JC? Like
It was a
their
department
territory?
store, and it was just a department store you went to. It was a clothing store.
I took a picture. It was so
Oh my
funny.
God.
Okay. And I was like,
All
is
right.
this by the parking structure C7? Like,
Then
needed
we've also got the physics of Star Trek along the theme of science still with Lawrence M. Krauss, moderated by Scott Baker. This is a really fun one, really interesting one. More science, more goodies. Then we'll also close out with a quick interview with Bridget Fitzgerald by Falling Tower. That's a fun one as well. You guys are going to love her. She's super bubbly and intelligent and a brilliant actress. And she's really getting some big gigs lately. So she's going places, as the French say. Then Sunday begins with a bang.
Okay, Oni
with a Seinfeld clip. Well, it's not really a clip of Seinfeld. It's a clip about Falling Tower talking about Seinfeld. But hey, that's a good way to start your day, right?
I thought it was gonna be that sound that like they'd have in the show.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Wait, no, that's Night Court.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Night Court.
The short version of
Oh
it.
my
Short
gosh.
Yeah, wait, how does?
But
Yeah, Seinfeld would be the one,
I
be like,
thought Muhammad, you had it.
right, doing the breaths. Sorry, I thought Muhammad was going to do it for us.
Oh, I can do it again. Sorry,
Huh?
I know you were waiting for me to do it again. It was something like Borodo. It was just a quick thing. It wasn't a long one. Sorry, I thought Melissa was about to do it. That's why I was being quiet.
Anybody
Wait.
know the Night Court theme
I
song?
can't-
Right?
Wait.
Oh
Yeah,
that was great.
that was, yeah.
Anyway,
Yay, Night
back to
Court.
Okay.
BTC.
Then we have To Proudly Go. Anne-Marie, would you like to tell us about To Proudly Go?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Yes, it's our New York nonprofit, official nonprofit for LGBTQI plus community, and we do a lot of charity work, raising money for local charities and also national, depending on which season party we're doing. So right now we just started for Love Wins, a food pantry in New York for the LGBTQI plus community. And basically it'll be a video just talking about the new it just turned a year old, talking about the organization and also the work they do. And I think some musical Heather Wood, our Janeway drag queen numbers, and it'll be really fun just for 15 minutes before the next event,
Here's a quick
which
thing.
also has my heart. Okay,
Two
what?
quick things. That's going to be really cool. Everybody check that out. It's almost like a coming out party for them for Virtual TrekCon. It's like, hey, it's their first
Yes,
Virtual
it is our first
TrekCon.
virtual TrekCon.
Medallion says George Costanza going to con. Good point. He is going to be, is it going to be at Chicago or Star Trek?
he's
I think it's Star
going?
Trek Las Vegas. I think so. I believe I remember seeing him recently.
Oh, I went to
On
high school with my dad.
and then thank goodness for that. And then Chuck A says Brent Spiner is in Night Court. Also good knowledge there. Then, oh man, you guys. The
This
Seventh
just
Rule
takes my breath
presents
away.
Deep Space Nine, His Way. Remember that episode, His
Is it
Way?
my favorite episode? Yes.
Oh, that's weird. And we
It's a
will
love
be
story.
reviewing it. Sirach and I will be reviewing it with Nana Visitor and
Yeah.
Ira Stephen Bear. So that's going to be awesome. If you want to know what Ira and Nana and Sirach have to say about His Way, tune in. That is Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. That's the normal time for Seventh Rule, for those of you that know that. And we've got a couple more lost episodes. We got Doug Drexler joining us. He's a big VFX art department guy. He's worked with Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, and now he's working on Picard and the Orville. So my goodness, sit back and enjoy that. Lambda Quadrant is, yes?
There's a credits page for Picard, and they put Doug Drexler's name twice because he did so much on the show. Just
No
like as a
way.
little
That's
cute
hilarious.
inside joke. Yeah, isn't that cute?
That's awesome. Lambda Quadrant is back. They'll be talking about whether Discovery is too dark. Interesting.
No.
Deep Space Nine was shot dark.
Just kidding.
I don't think that's what they mean. Then also, well, what do you know? Jane Brooke will be joining us. What's that about, Mohammed?
Sure, it's just an interview with actress Jane Brooke, who played Admiral Katrina Cornwell in the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery, not just about her roles in Trek, but just her acting career more generally. So it'll be a fun chat, and it's live. So if you can actually type questions in the chat, and we can potentially relay them to her.
Don't
She'll
tell
answer
Mom
them
Admiral
live.
Cornwall's dead.
Yeah.
Mohammed will be
Don't tell
moderating that, everybody. So if you have questions for Mohammed and or Jane, it's a live show. So go ahead and ask them.
Freaking
It's going to be a great time.
career.
Then, as we were alluding to before, Disco does D&D. That is Discovery's Noah, A.K. Anthony Rapp, Blue Del Barrio, and Ian Alexander will be playing Dungeons and Dragons live for your viewing and listening pleasure.
The game.
That's going to be
cartoon.
nuts. And that's going to be crazy fun. Then it's Lappy Central. We have the pre-Lappy's hype show that we mentioned with Bill Smith, Dan Davidson, Sabrina Wood, Yvette Blackman. We've got the Lappy Awards themselves once again, Sunday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight on Monday morning for those of you in the UK. No big deal.
Yeah.
And then the Lappy post show analysis. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be a crazy night. Then we got a couple replays after that. Final day is Monday. It's podcast day. We're going to have a bottom line on the cage with Falling Tower. We're going to have a cool creating a Romulan makeup video, probably. You remember Emmy Award-winning makeup effects artist Tom Surprenant. He is going to be making a Romulan for everybody to watch. That's going to be nuts. This guy won awards for his work on Star Trek.
Not with a Romulan mom.
What?
It just sounded so funny. They're making Romulan.
Yeah, you're like making a Romulan out of a normal human. But yeah, he will not from scratch. Then we have props and art of Star Trek with Mark E. Fenlison. Director Scotty Baker, our buddy, will be interviewing him live as well. So if you have any questions about props and art department within Star Trek, The Next Generation, ask your questions. It will be live and it's going to be fun as hell. Then we've got the Trexperts briefing room. Anne Marie, what is the Trexperts briefing room?
Oh my gosh. This is going to be, well, first of all, Mohammed's been a guest before. So yeah, major treat. It's with Peter and also Lisa Klink. And it's kind of a spin-off show from Inglorious Trexperts. They have amazing guests on every week, do deep dives into episodes or different like facets of Star Trek. So that'll be a wonderful hour, and that's live.
Hang on a second. Lisa Klink is a familiar name. Who's that?
Oh, you may know her from the story by For Hippocratic Oath on Deep Space Nine. Also a staff writer for Voyager for several seasons. So that's going to be a really big treat. And I believe she might be writing in the new Star Trek magazine, but I have to look that up for more information. I believe I just saw that somewhere yesterday. It's on my to-do list. I need to know everything about all these amazing people.
All right. That is going to be a fun one. That one is new to me, and so I'm really excited for that one, although we know them and we love them.
Oh yeah, and Peter works with Robert Vogt-Weiss on Center Seat in some of his projects. Really? And he actually wrote the companion book that goes along with the Center Seat series.
Wow, that's
it'll
really
be
cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
Then we've got Dark Matter Raffle for Charity hosted by Orville Nation. You heard that right. Orville Nation, Dark Matter Raffle Charity, Monday afternoon. That's a lot of words, and they're all mashed together in one fun time and a good cause with our good buddies at Orville Nation. Then we should have just started with this. You guys, we have live on Monday afternoon. Did I mention it's live? Did I mention it's Monday afternoon? Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating.
Hey,
So
Enterprise.
we cannot wait. Sirach and I are looking at them like they are a juicy steak, and we want to just bite into them and ask them all the questions about what it's like being a brand new podcaster. Is it what they expected? Is it more fun? Is it difficult? Are they not? Do they have no opinion on it because they're just in a whirlwind of emotions? Who knows?
It's gonna be so fun.
We've never spoken to them about it. We can't wait to talk to them about it. It's gonna be really cool. Their new
They're a fun
podcast
duo,
shuttle pod.
too.
Yeah, they're nuts in mostly a good way. Then we have the VTC3 closing ceremonies. That'll be live like all the others. And we will be saying goodbye and closing out virtual TrekCon with virtual hugs and laughs and all kinds of goodies. But is the convention over?
There's one of my favorite things on the schedule still happening.
But wait, there's more. So you're saying there's more to this schedule even after the closing ceremonies? We would call this post-con viewing. We had pre-con viewing. This is post-con viewing. And we have, right after the closing ceremonies, post-con viewing is Falling Tower presents Watch the First For All Mankind, which is Ronald D. Moore's new series with a bunch of Star Trek people involved in that. And we will be reviewing and discussing that, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg and myself, with special guests, Kat Guerin and Roz Stanley. That's going to be a great one because we all know and love Kat and Roz.
Oh, this is such a good show.
Yeah. And let's see. Then we have the Seventh Rule presents Change of Heart, which was a very beautiful, very memorable episode with David Livingston. Who's David Livingston, by the way?
Fish in Picard's Ready Room? No, that's his namesake.
He is the guy that the fish was named after. Yeah. Legendary, iconic director and producer. It's going to be great. Sorry, Mohammed.
I was wondering, I thought you were joking me.
Why were you so quiet when I read off the other episode? For All Mankind is
okay, thank you. I thought it was on Crazy Pills.
I was like, is he pranking me? I'm just gonna go.
I was just like, wait. I was like, was I in an alternate reality?
No, I was reading a different. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody at home, pretend this isn't live. For All Mankind, special guests, Dr. Muhammad Noor and Dr. Tanya Harrison. That
like,
whole time, Muhammad, you're like, I'm not saying anything.
Booted off the show.
Yeah. I was like, maybe they re-recorded it. They didn't like mine. Cut it off.
No, as I was reading this, I was like, is that right?
Oh
that
God,
doesn't sound right to
hysterical.
me. I feel like we had the scientists on for the science show.
Hysterical.
You guys just let me hang.
Dude, I thought something awkward happened.
Something awkward did happen. I read two names wrong.
I was like, whoa, I guess I won't.
I'm like,
I won't,
I'm like Anchorman. I'm just.
I was
like,
literally
just
starting to
read
message
stuff.
you like, is that right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we got going on. Then we have a couple re-premierings. Hopefully everybody went to bed before we read the wrong names there.
Yeah.
And that's it. Thanks.
Make sure you get tons of sleep before Thursday.
Or as Q would say, the con never ends.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, it is time for Star Trek Day trivia. Here it comes, fast and furious.
You should do that at the end of every live panel, the con.
Which Star Trek captain suffers from androgenic alopecia? Is it A? This is a tough one already.
Androgenic, maybe.
Yeah, it could be androgenic. I've never heard the word before. Yeah, I said androgenic. Androgenic alopecia. Catherine Janeway. Is it B, Jonathan Archer? Is it C? Oh, that's rude. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Is it D, Captain
Janeway.
James T. Kirk? All right.
Well.
So
Oh, never mind.
androgenic alopecia Is
It's
it
funny. It's
Janeway?
funny how they're using this super technical term there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Janeway, Archer, Picard, or Kirk? Everybody's assuming, but I didn't even read the answer. But
Androgens play a role in
Yeah.
like male development and male
Yep.
traits, by the way.
Alopecia is the
Well, just so
yeah,
that it's
I was
probably
gonna
not
say
Janeway.
there's to give a hint, there's only one that doesn't have hair. So
yep.
Well, see, some people might not know what those words mean, though. Okay, so Melissa, where can everybody find you besides Virtual TrekCon 3 all week?
on the social medias, Melissa Longo on Walking Art Made by Melissa, The Seventh Rule, and YouTube.
Yep. What about you, Dr. Anne Marie Siegel? If people wanted to find you and tweet a funny Picard meme, where would they tweet that?
Yeah. Or a funny thing with their worksheets for Virtual TrekCon at
Yeah.
Anne-Marie Siegel 1. And I will also be in all the live chats.
You guys tweet all of your worksheet answers, LLAPy Awards answers to Anne Marie and to Virtual TrekCon especially.
Otherwise, I'll just hunt you down myself. On
Scary.
Twitter. Yes.
Dr. Muhammad Noor, where can they find y'all?
Sure. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Mafnoor, M-A-F, like in Frank, and like November, O-O-R, or YouTube as Biotrekkie, B-I-O-T-R-E-K-K-I-E.
And everybody, you can find me Virtual TrekCon, The Seventh Rule, and Falling Tower. Check those out on YouTube and or your favorite social media. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you, whether you like it or not. You will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, especially Sunday, and then Monday for Virtual TrekCon 3 and the LLAPy Awards. Please be sure you are there. Tell all your friends, fill out your worksheets. Let's have some fun together.
Yeah.
The answer is, of course, C.
Janeway. Just kidding.
How dare you?
Okay. Be there or be one side of a cube.
Yep.
You're not going to just like it. You're going to love it. It's going to be awesome.
We just got 2 nicknames. Medallion says Ala Moraine Anne Marie, and Glenn Iverson says Grand Moff Noor. Dr. Ala Moraine Anne Marie. I like it. She hates it. That's why she's quiet both times I said it.
No, it's not new, to be fair. I've been
Okay.
seeing this pop up on Twitter.
You guys have a
Medallion.
nickname for Melissa before we go in the live chat? Give us Melissa's nickname. Let me think.
Somebody, Chuck A wrote actor Melissa Longo.
Okay.
True.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Accurate. I'm not going to ask for myself to have a nickname because that's just opening the door for danger.
You already have Ryan, which cracks me up.
Oh yeah, I like Ryun.
Your organization too, the Orion Syndicate too.
Yeah.
All alien all the time.
I love
David
your
Gregory.
Ryan hands.
Okay. So everybody at
Hey,
home,
Mr.
thanks for
Burns.
sticking around. This has been fun. This was a longer episode than before, but we had so much to cover. There's so much more to cover, but oh well. We'll see you next time. And thank you very much for the fun. Remember this one, though. Remember that when you're looking for the best, freest way to build this Star Trek community, make friends, and have a good time, put it on the main viewer, because that's where Virtual TrekCon is. You know, Virtual TrekCon, whatever. Cool, we did it.
That was fun. Sorry, I had to run and pee in the middle.